I went to the ATM yesterday to get some cash, and this is why I never wait until I'm completely out of cash before I go to an ATM, because I have always had this fear of being in China without any money, and if you have no money in this country, you're screwed. Now, I always carry a couple $100 of US money as an emergency backup, so that if I do happen, for whatever case, to run out, I can go to a bank and exchange it. But I have a Charles Schwab ATM card, which is used free anywhere in the world. And I always call them before I travel and say, hey, I'm going to China or I'm going to Mexico, don't block the card on me. And this last time the girl told me, oh sir, you don't have to worry, we have that new card you just received has one of those chips, and you don't have to call us anymore. I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah. I said, well, just put a notation in there that I'm going to China for, a month, and don't block my card. Well, worked fine 2 times, and I hadn't used it for about a week, and I came to Guangzhou, and I forgot to use it at the airport. Best time to use it is when you get off the plane, find an ATM at the airport, and use it there.
Thank you for calling Charles Schwab Bank.
But I was so caught up in getting here that I kept going. It was rejected by 4 ATMs, and I came back to the hotel, and my VPN wasn't working. So I went on to Charles Schwab and used their chat feature, which is a great feature. And the guy told me, yeah, your card's fine, nothing's blocked, everything's great. I said, are you sure? I said, because the ATMs are dispensing money, but it's just not dispensing money to me. So I went to the trade show, and I tried 2 more ATMs, both rejected, and I finally got a Bank of China that finally gave me some money. Now, I also carry another bank ATM card that would charge me bank fees, but if the difference was I pay 10 bucks in bank fees, I get cash, or I don't pay bank fees and I get no money, well, obviously that's an easy choice. And then I go back to Schwab and tell them to give me the money back. So I just got an email with a voicemail attached where Schwab was trying to reach me, saying you need to call me immediately for fraud prevention. So I texted them, or did the online text, and the guy said, we can't help you, you have to call the fraud prevention. I said, well, if my computer was working, I could do it. So I just went on to this VPN site, and I don't like the VPN I used to use, they went out of business. So this VPN, the difficulty with it is you have to go in and individually configure your computer every time you move to a different location. So if I was in one place for a month, you set it up once. But now, it took me, 15 minutes to go in and set it up, but it's still a pain in the butt. But at least this phone thing is working now, so I can call people now for free.
Your call will be answered shortly.
And I've been on hold for 9 minutes. So, but this, you don't get upset. You just say, the number 1 rule is, it would have been a problem if I only had that ATM card. If I didn't have cash, if I didn't have another ATM card. Credit cards are not used a lot in China. So if you go to a hotel, if you go to a Western hotel, they'll take it. If you go to a Chinese hotel, they'll look at you and say they take Union Pay, but they won't take a Visa or MasterCard.
All our representatives are still busy assisting their callers. Your call is very important to us, so please stay on hold. Your call will be answered shortly.
So when I do these trips, like this trip, I've done a lot of traveling on this trip, and right now I looked at it, I've pulled out about, after yesterday, I've pulled out about 1,100 bucks so far on the trip in cash. That's been all my expenses. And then the airfare I use online, I use a credit card, and that's been a couple $100 more. So for all food, hotel, activities, that's not bad for 3 weeks so far.
Calling Charles Schwab Bank. Fraud prevention services.
So
all our representatives are still busy assisting other callers.
And it's
your call is very important to us, so please
7 a.m. right now. I've been dealing with this since 5. So that means it's 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. in Indiana or wherever they are. Hello? The music could be worse.
Thank you for calling Charles Schwab Bank. Fraud prevention.
The only thing that I'm concerned about with these long phone calls is China does, a lot of these places don't have consistent internet. They'll pulse it and it will drop, and then you have to restart what you were doing. If you're streaming a video or, see, there it goes. Yep, bastards.
For accuracy and quality, this call may be recorded and monitored.
Thank you for calling Charles Schwab Bank Fraud Prevention Service. My name is Carrie. How can I help you today?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, well, I am in China and I'm on a very bad connection, and I've been forced to contact you folks about some possible fraud issues. So I called before I came to China, so I don't know why there's a problem.
Hey, I'm sorry to hear that, sir. I'll definitely be able to take care of this.
When you go to a country like China, it's not like picking up a phone in the USA and communicating easily. A lot of things are blocked in this country. And so,
I understand.
well, I don't think you guys do. I mean,
giving us a call.
yeah, well, I just think of some of these people who aren't experienced travelers who may just say, wow, my ATM card with Charles Schwab is used everywhere. And then they get to China and realize they can't feed themselves or go to a hotel because they can't get any money. And if you don't speak Chinese, how are you going to ask somebody to borrow their phone? Or to find someplace who can use a phone, even if, you know, and how are they going to pay to use the phone if they don't have cash? You know what I mean? It can be a pretty bad experience for people if they aren't prepared, and you know, they think they're prepared, but then Charles Schwab lets them down.
I'm sorry about this, sir. It is a big inconvenience. It's your funds, and of course, if you travel outside of the United States, you're definitely counting on it. We're sorry that, you know.
Well, the only reason I'm mentioning that is you should give feedback to your team. One of the nicest features of the Charles Schwab site is the chat feature. You should have some sort of chat feature for the fraud prevention people. And then if somebody doesn't have access to a phone, but they can get an internet connection, they can still resolve these issues.
Well, I think that we've actually had that idea in the works, sir, so I really hope that it does get done, especially with, you know, the incidents that you had today.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
All right,
bye now.
Thank you. Have a great evening.